Your soulmate found out what you sacrificed to keep the peace, and their reaction will shock you. My beloved child, don't skip, stay till the end, because something huge is waiting. Your soulmate just discovered something about you that changed the way they see your entire story. For so long, they thought your silence meant you had moved on without feeling anything. They thought your calmness came naturally, that walking away from certain arguments was easy for you, and that keeping the peace cost you almost nothing. But now they know the truth. They found out how many times you swallowed the words you desperately wanted to say, how often you chose understanding when you could have demanded answers, and how much you quietly sacrificed simply because you never wanted love to become a battlefield. Don't skip, because what they discovered next hit them even harder. There was one sacrifice they never noticed, one decision you made behind the scenes that protected the connection while quietly changing you. And once your soulmate understood what that decision actually cost you, they could no longer look at the past the same way. Something huge is waiting for you, because their reaction was not what anyone would have expected. Here is where everything suddenly shifts. Your soulmate started connecting moments they had previously misunderstood. The times you became quiet instead of defending yourself. The moments you gave them space even though a part of you wanted reassurance. The conversations where you could have revealed everything you were carrying, yet you chose softer words because you knew one careless sentence could create distance that neither of you truly wanted. They finally realized that your peace was never weakness. It was restraint. It was emotional strength they failed to recognize while it was happening. And then came the revelation that stopped them completely. You were not protecting yourself nearly as much as you were protecting the bond between you. You accepted being misunderstood in moments when explaining yourself might have created an even deeper conflict. Stay till the end, because that realization awakened something powerful inside them. Suddenly, memories they had buried started returning with completely different meanings. Your soulmate began asking themselves one unforgettable question: how did I not see what this person was giving up just to keep everything from falling apart? And the answer they reached changed what they wanted to do next. But the biggest discovery has still not surfaced. Don't skip. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that there was a point when you could have chosen yourself completely, closed the emotional door, and never looked back, but something inside you chose peace instead of proving a point. You did not need applause for it. You did not announce what you were sacrificing. You simply carried it quietly, believing that someday the truth would speak for itself. That day may be closer than you think. Because once your soulmate understood the depth of what happened, their first reaction was disbelief. Then came silence. Then came an emotion they could no longer push away. They realized they had been judging certain chapters without knowing what was happening behind the pages. And now they are seeing you differently, not as someone who simply stayed calm, but as someone who carried far more than they ever realized. Something huge is waiting for you, because this discovery is leading them toward a decision. A decision connected directly to you. And what they are beginning to consider could completely change the meaning of everything that happened between you. Something has shifted inside your soulmate, and this time they cannot simply ignore it. Stay till the end, because what they are realizing now goes much deeper than the sacrifice itself. They are finally seeing the moments when you had every reason to make things about yourself, yet you chose peace because protecting the connection mattered more than winning the moment. They remember the conversations where you softened your words even while carrying emotions they never fully understood. They remember how you stepped back when everything inside you wanted clarity. And suddenly, the truth feels impossible for them to escape. You were carrying emotional weight they never knew existed. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has started wondering how different everything could have been if they had recognized your efforts sooner. That question keeps returning. It follows them into quiet moments. It changes the meaning of old memories. Things they once considered ordinary now look completely different, because they can finally see what was hidden underneath your calmness. And there is one particular memory beginning to stand above all the others, a moment they once misunderstood completely. Now that they know what you sacrificed, that same memory is becoming the key to everything that happens next. What makes this revelation so powerful is that your soulmate expected to discover frustration, resentment, or a desire to prove something, but instead, they discovered how deeply you cared about preserving what mattered. That realization has shaken their old assumptions. They are beginning to understand that sometimes your silence was not distance, it was you choosing not to turn one difficult moment into something much bigger. Sometimes your patience was not because you had nothing to say, it was because you understood the power your words carried. And sometimes when you appeared completely fine, you were actually making a quiet decision to protect the peace. Stay till the end, because their reaction is becoming more surprising with every memory they revisit. They are no longer asking whether you cared. Now they are asking how they could have missed just how much you cared. That difference changes everything. Your soulmate is beginning to see that the version of you they thought they understood was only the surface. Beneath it was someone making choices they never witnessed, carrying thoughts they never heard, and giving up the need to always be understood immediately. Don't skip, because the next realization is the one they were least prepared for. They may have mistaken one of your greatest acts of love for emotional distance. And now comes the turn they never expected. Something huge is waiting for you, because once your soulmate understood that particular moment, they stopped looking only at what you sacrificed and started looking at what they themselves failed to notice. That is where their reaction truly changed. They replayed your words. They remembered your expression. They remembered the strange calmness you carried when you could easily have responded differently. And for the first time, they understood why. You were not trying to disappear from their life. You were trying to prevent a temporary storm from defining something that meant far more to you. That realization has created a completely new question inside them. If you cared enough to protect the peace when nobody recognized your sacrifice, what does that say about the depth of what you truly felt? Stay till the end, because they are getting dangerously close to the answer, and that answer is pushing them towards something they never imagined doing before. Your soulmate now knows they cannot return to the old version of this story. They have seen too much. They understand too much. And there is still one hidden truth they have not fully uncovered, the sacrifice that explains why you eventually became quieter, stronger, and completely different. When they discover that final piece, their reaction will change again, because what they currently know is only the beginning. Then came the realization your soulmate was never prepared to face. Don't skip, because this is where everything they believed about you begins to collapse. They finally understood that your greatest sacrifice was not simply staying quiet during difficult moments, it was allowing yourself to be misunderstood so the connection would not be destroyed by temporary emotions. Think about how powerful that is. You could have explained every detail. You could have demanded that they understand your side immediately. You could have turned every misunderstanding into a long battle over who was right. But instead, you protected something bigger than your pride. And now your soulmate sees it. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The memories that once made them question your feelings are suddenly becoming evidence of how deeply you cared. That moment when you walked away from an unnecessary argument? They understand it differently now. That time you became unusually quiet? They finally realized there were words behind that silence. That moment when you gave them space even though you wanted closeness? They can finally see the sacrifice hidden inside it. And this realization is creating an emotional shift they cannot reverse, because once someone understands the meaning behind your silence, they can never hear that silence the same way again. But what happened next surprised even them. Your soulmate started comparing the person you were before those sacrifices with the person you eventually became. They noticed something they had overlooked completely: you slowly stopped asking for things you once asked for naturally. You stopped explaining yourself repeatedly. You stopped chasing clarity from situations that kept giving you confusion. Not because you stopped caring, but because somewhere along the journey you learned that peace sometimes requires releasing the need to control how another person understands you. Don't skip. This is the part that changes the entire story. Your soulmate suddenly realized that while they were watching your behavior change, they never asked what caused that change. Now they know. Every quiet decision shaped you. Every moment you chose patience taught you something. Every time you protected the connection without receiving recognition, another part of you became stronger. And now they are looking at you with a completely different understanding. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are beginning to recognize that the calm version of you standing before them today was created through choices they never witnessed. And that realization has made them wonder whether they waited too long to understand someone who had been showing them the truth all along. Now everything is moving toward one unforgettable moment. Your soulmate has reached the point where simply knowing the truth is no longer enough. Something inside them wants to respond to what they discovered. They are thinking about what they would say if they had one completely honest conversation with you. Without assumptions, without old misunderstandings, without pretending certain moments meant nothing. Don't skip, because the thought that keeps returning to them is incredibly simple: what if I finally tell them that I understand? But there is something even bigger behind that thought. They are not only thinking about acknowledging your sacrifice. They are thinking about what your sacrifice revealed about the connection itself. You protected peace because somewhere inside you, this bond mattered enough to protect. And now your soulmate understands that your restraint was never emptiness, it carried meaning they were not emotionally ready to recognize before. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is still one final memory they keep returning to, and this memory contains the missing piece. It was the moment when you could have said everything you were feeling, but instead you chose only a few words and walked away peacefully. Your soulmate finally understands what those words really meant. And once that meaning fully settles inside them, they are going to realize something about you, and about themselves, that could change the direction of this entire story. And suddenly, the final piece falls into place. Don't skip, because your soulmate has finally understood what that last quiet moment really meant. You were not walking away because you stopped caring. You were choosing peace because you cared enough not to let one emotional moment destroy something meaningful. That realization changes everything they thought they knew about you. They can finally see that behind your calmness was a heart making difficult choices without asking to be recognized for them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person they once thought had become distant was actually becoming stronger, learning when to speak, when to release, and when protecting peace mattered more than proving a point. Now your soulmate is looking back with completely different eyes. Every silence feels louder. Every peaceful decision carries a deeper meaning. And the most surprising part is this: they are no longer focused on what you should have done differently. They are wondering what they should have noticed sooner. Don't skip, because this is the reaction nobody expected. Your sacrifice did not make them forget the connection, it made them understand its value. They finally realize that some of your biggest acts of care happened quietly, where nobody could applaud you or even recognize what you were giving up. And now that truth is impossible for them to unsee. But something even bigger is beginning inside them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate now understands that peace was never the absence of emotion, sometimes it was proof of how deeply you valued what existed between you. And that understanding has changed the question in their mind from, "Why did you become so quiet?" to, "How did I miss what your silence was trying to protect?" That question may stay with them longer than they expected. Because once someone finally understands the sacrifice behind your peace, the entire story changes, and your soulmate has just realized that what they once overlooked may have been the most meaningful part of all. Now the truth has reached a place your soulmate can no longer ignore. Don't skip, because what happens emotionally from here is bigger than simply realizing what you sacrificed. They are beginning to understand what it cost you to keep choosing peace when being understood would have felt so much easier. Suddenly, they remember the small moments differently, the pauses before you answered, the times you chose gentle words, the moments you could have reopened old conversations but decided not to. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate once believed those moments meant you were slowly disconnecting. Now they see the opposite. You were trying to stop temporary emotions from becoming permanent distance. And that realization has left them with one powerful thought: maybe the person they understood the least was the person who had been protecting the connection the most. Then something unexpected happens inside them. Instead of searching for explanations about your behavior, they start questioning their own interpretation of the past. Don't skip, because this changes the entire emotional direction of the story. Your soulmate realizes that they were watching your actions without understanding the sacrifices behind them. They saw the silence, but not the thoughts you chose not to release. They saw you step back, but not the reason you refused to turn every misunderstanding into a struggle. They saw your calmness, but never understood how much strength it required. Something huge is waiting for you, because now they finally recognize something rare. You did not need to make noise for your feelings to be real. Some of the deepest things you felt were revealed through what you refused to destroy. And this is where their reaction becomes impossible to forget. Stay till the end, because your soulmate has reached a realization that could permanently change how they remember you. They understand now that your sacrifice was never about losing yourself for someone else. It was about knowing which moments deserved your energy and which moments deserved peace. And suddenly, they see your strength where they once saw distance. They see care where they once saw silence. They see meaning where they once saw nothing. Don't skip, because one final question is now growing inside their mind. If they had understood all of this earlier, how differently would they have treated the moments you shared? That question is opening a door they thought was already closed. And what waits behind that door could be the biggest revelation yet. What your soulmate realizes next changes the meaning of everything. Don't skip, because they are no longer simply remembering your sacrifices, they are finally understanding the person behind them. They see now that every time you chose peace, you were making a decision they could not see from the outside. You could have forced answers. You could have demanded immediate understanding. Instead, you protected your inner calm while refusing to let one difficult chapter define the entire connection. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has finally discovered that the strength they admire in you today was built during the very moments they once misunderstood. And suddenly, one thought hits them harder than everything else. While they were wondering why you had changed, they never realized what you had quietly survived emotionally to become this version of yourself. But here comes the revelation they never expected. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that you were never asking for perfection, you were hoping to be understood without having to explain your heart endlessly. Don't skip, because this realization is making them revisit one specific moment again and again. A moment when you could have said so much, yet you chose a few calm words and left the rest unspoken. They finally understand that your silence was not empty. It contained everything you had become tired of repeating. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because now they are wondering what would happen if they finally gave you the understanding you once needed without making you ask for it. That thought has become impossible for them to dismiss. And now the story reaches a completely different level. Your soulmate is no longer asking what happened between you, they are asking what can still be understood from it. Don't skip, because their reaction is becoming something deeper than surprise. They are seeing your value through a lens they never had before. The peace you protected, the words you held back, and the moments you refused to turn into unnecessary conflict have finally revealed something unforgettable about your character. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is one truth your soulmate still has to face: understanding your sacrifice changes nothing unless that understanding changes them too. And the decision forming inside them now could reveal whether this realization was simply a moment of reflection, or the beginning of something neither of you expected. Now comes the moment your soulmate cannot mentally walk away from. Don't skip, because everything they discovered about your sacrifices has led them to one overwhelming realization: they were measuring your feelings by what you said, while some of your deepest feelings were hidden inside what you deliberately chose not to say. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They remember how many times you could have reopened an old misunderstanding but chose peace instead. They remember how you stopped trying to win every conversation and started protecting your energy. And suddenly, they understand that your calmness was never proof that nothing mattered. Sometimes it meant something mattered so deeply that you refused to let temporary emotions control the outcome. That realization has completely changed the way they remember you. Then another truth hits them, the one they were least prepared for. Don't skip. Your soulmate realizes that while you were protecting the peace, you were also quietly learning your own worth. Every sacrifice taught you where your limits were. Every misunderstanding taught you that genuine understanding cannot be forced. Every quiet moment taught you that peace is valuable, but so is being seen. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They can finally see that you did not remain the same person through all of this. You became more selective with your energy, more careful with your heart, and stronger with your boundaries. And now they understand something surprising. The version of you they are finally ready to appreciate may no longer need the validation they once failed to give. That is exactly why their next realization feels so powerful. Your soulmate knows that understanding you now does not automatically erase what they misunderstood before. Don't skip, because this is where their reaction becomes real. They are beginning to understand that if they ever want to show you they finally see the truth, words alone will not be enough. Something huge is waiting for you, because one question is now sitting heavily in their mind. If I truly understand what they sacrificed for peace, what am I willing to do differently? Stay till the end, because that question is pushing them toward the biggest emotional turning point yet. Your sacrifices have already changed how they see the past. But what they decide after discovering the truth could determine how they see everything that comes next. Here is where everything suddenly becomes impossible for your soulmate to dismiss. Don't skip, because the truth they discovered has moved beyond the past and started changing what they feel right now. They finally understand that you never wanted to be praised for keeping the peace. You simply wanted the connection to remain bigger than temporary misunderstandings. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate is realizing that the moments they once considered small were actually revealing your character the entire time. You chose patience when reacting would have been easier. You chose calmness when explaining everything again would have exhausted you. And you chose dignity when nobody even understood what that choice was costing you. Now they see it, and once they see it, they cannot return to the old version of the story. Then comes the realization that leaves them completely still. Don't skip. Your soulmate understands that while you sacrificed certain things to protect the peace, you never sacrificed your ability to grow. Every difficult moment quietly transformed you. You became stronger without becoming colder. You learned to protect your energy without needing everyone to understand why. And this is what surprises them most. You did not need their recognition to become the person you were becoming. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They thought discovering your sacrifice would only make them understand your past. Instead, it has made them notice your present value. And suddenly, they are wondering whether they truly understood what they had in front of them when they had the chance to see it clearly. Now your soulmate reaches the question that changes everything. What happens when someone finally recognizes a sacrifice they were never supposed to overlook? Don't skip, because their answer is beginning to form. They know they cannot rewrite yesterday, but they can change what this realization means from this moment forward. They can finally acknowledge what your silence protected, what your patience carried, and what your peace actually represented. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate thought the shocking part would be discovering what you sacrificed. But the real shock is what that discovery revealed about you. Your quietest choices may have spoken louder than anything you could have said. And now there is only one mystery left. What will they do after finally understanding the truth they once completely missed? But now something completely unexpected begins inside your soulmate. Don't skip, because they have reached the point where remembering is no longer enough. They keep returning to one thought: you protected the peace even when nobody understood what it required from you. And suddenly, the question is no longer why you became quiet, it is why they failed to recognize the meaning behind that quietness. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are finally seeing that your strongest moments were not always the loudest ones. Sometimes your strength appeared when you refused to turn disappointment into endless conflict. Sometimes it appeared when you gave space instead of demanding answers. And sometimes it appeared when you accepted that being peaceful mattered more than being proven right. That truth has completely changed the emotional picture they carried of you. Then comes the revelation that catches them completely by surprise. Your soulmate realizes that you were never waiting forever for someone to recognize your sacrifice. You were growing beyond the need to have every choice explained or validated. Don't skip, because this is where their reaction becomes even more powerful. They can see that while they were slowly discovering your value, you were quietly learning your own. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. You learned that peace should not require you to constantly prove your intentions. You learned that genuine understanding has to come willingly. And now your soulmate recognizes the difference between the person who once desperately wanted to be understood and the person who can remain calm even when someone misunderstands them. That difference has made them realize something they never expected: they may finally understand you at the exact moment you stopped needing them to. And that thought changes everything. Don't skip, because your soulmate now understands that the biggest reaction cannot simply be words, it has to be a different way of seeing you. They cannot erase the moments they misunderstood, but they can finally stop pretending those moments meant nothing. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. One final truth is beginning to rise above every other realization: your sacrifice was never meant to make someone feel indebted to you. It revealed what you valued, how deeply you could care, and how strongly you could choose peace without losing yourself. Your soulmate finally sees that. But now they are facing the question they cannot avoid: after discovering the truth about everything you quietly carried, will they remain the same person, or will this realization finally change something inside them? Because what happens next is not about the sacrifice anymore. It is about what your sacrifice has awakened. And now the truth reaches its most powerful point. Don't skip, because your soulmate has finally stopped looking at your sacrifice as something that happened in the past. They understand that every time you chose peace, something inside you was changing. You were learning that love should not always require endless explanations. You were learning that being understood matters, but protecting your peace matters too. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate finally sees the part they missed: you were not becoming distant, you were becoming wiser about where your energy belonged. And that realization shocks them because they now understand that while they were trying to figure out why you changed, your transformation had already begun right in front of them. Then one final memory returns differently than all the others. Don't skip. It was a moment when your soulmate expected you to react, explain, or fight to be understood. But you simply remained calm. Back then, they thought your silence meant the moment did not matter enough to you. Now they understand the opposite. It mattered so much that you refused to let emotion destroy what your heart still valued. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. That realization forces them to confront the biggest misunderstanding of all. They confused your restraint with indifference. They confused your patience with weakness. They confused your silence with emptiness. And now, when they finally understand what was actually happening inside you, those memories carry an entirely different meaning. This is the revelation everything has been building toward. Your soulmate discovered what you sacrificed to keep the peace, but what truly shocked them was realizing what those sacrifices revealed about you. Don't skip, because this is the truth they cannot forget. You were capable of caring deeply without losing yourself completely. You could choose peace without surrendering your worth. You could walk through misunderstanding and still become stronger. And now your soulmate understands that recognizing your value is not enough. They must respect the person those experiences helped you become. Something huge was waiting for you, and this is it. The greatest surprise was never simply their reaction. It was the moment they finally saw you clearly. Because sometimes the deepest realization arrives only after the noise disappears, and the person who once misunderstood your silence finally discovers everything that silence had been saying all along.